The Billionaire's Doubt. Ryan Matthews stood in his Manhattan penthouse at dawn, watching the city wake up 40 stories below while doubt gnawed at his chest like a persistent ache. At 29, he commanded a technology empire worth $3 billion, but all his success felt hollow when he looked at the engagement ring burning a hole in his desk drawer. Vera Sterling was everything society said he should want in a partner. Brilliant, beautiful, ambitious, a corporate lawyer who could match his success with her own. They'd been together 18 months, meeting at a charity auction where she'd impressed him with her sharp wit and stunning presence in a designer gown that cost more than most people's cars. But lately, Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that Vera saw him as a lifestyle upgrade rather than a man she loved. "Good morning, handsome." Vera's voice came from the bedroom doorway. She appeared in one of his shirts, her blonde hair perfectly tousled in a way that looked effortless, but Ryan knew took 30 minutes to achieve. "Morning, beautiful," Ryan replied, forcing warmth into his voice. "Coffee?" "Just a kiss," Vera said, moving into his arms. When she kissed him, it felt practiced, like choreography they'd performed too many times. "I have an early meeting at Morrison Hayes and Associates. The partnership track waits for no one." Ryan watched Vera get ready, noting how she checked her reflection obsessively, how she chose her outfit based on which senior partners would be present, and how she never asked about his day unless it involved business decisions that might affect her social standing. "Ryan," Vera said, applying lipstick with surgical precision, "the Davidson Charity Gala is next weekend. You'll need to wear the Armani. First impressions matter when you're networking with old money families." "What if I wanted to wear something else?" Ryan asked, testing. Vera's laugh was sharp. "Darling, you're Ryan Matthews. People expect a certain image. You can't show up looking like ordinary people." The phrase ordinary people hit Ryan like ice water. His parents had been ordinary people, his father a mechanic, his mother a school secretary. They'd raised him in a modest house in Ohio, teaching him that character mattered more than cash flow. After Vera left for work, Ryan sat in his study, turning the engagement ring over in his hands. The 5-carat diamond caught the light like a star, beautiful and cold. He'd planned to propose tonight, but Vera's casual dismissal of ordinary people echoed in his mind. An idea formed, reckless and desperate, but impossible to ignore. What if he could see Vera in her natural environment, interacting with people she considered beneath her notice? What if he could discover who she really was when she thought no one important was watching? Ryan owned a significant investment stake in Morrison Hayes and Associates through his venture capital firm. Vera had no idea about the connection, assuming his wealth came purely from his tech company. One phone call could secure him a position at the firm where Vera worked, not as Ryan Matthews, the billionaire, but as someone invisible, unremarkable, someone ordinary. The plan crystallized with startling clarity. He would go undercover as maintenance staff, the kind of person Vera looked right through. He would observe her true character, her real values, her authentic self when she wasn't performing for his benefit. Within hours, Ryan had orchestrated his transformation. He went to a thrift store, bought work clothes that felt foreign against his skin. He got a haircut at a neighborhood barber shop, traded his designer glasses for cheap frames. He created false employment records under the name David Carter, a recent hire in building maintenance. That evening, Ryan practiced his new identity in the mirror. The man staring back looked nothing like the tech mogul who graced magazine covers. This David Carter was forgettable, invisible, exactly what Ryan needed to be.
This is either the stupidest thing I've ever done or the smartest, Ryan told his reflection. He thought about Vera's dismissive comments about ordinary people, about the way she talked about love like a business merger, about the growing suspicion that she cared more about his bank account than his heart. Tomorrow, he would discover the truth. Tomorrow, David Carter would meet Vera Sterling for the first time, and Ryan Matthews would finally see the woman he'd planned to marry without the filter of wealth and status. As he practiced walking with a maintenance worker's posture, Ryan felt nervous energy coursing through his system. He was about to risk everything on a test that could destroy his relationship or save him from the worst mistake of his life. Either way, there would be no going back after tomorrow. The engagement ring sat in his desk drawer, waiting for a decision that now depended on seeing Vera's true nature revealed in the fluorescent lights of an office building where she thought no one important was watching. Ryan Matthews was about to discover that sometimes the most valuable truths came from the least expected places, and that love, real love, had nothing to do with the size of your bank account or the thread count of your sheets. Behind the mask. Ryan's first day as David Carter began at 5 a.m. in the basement of Morrison Hayes and Associates. The maintenance supervisor, a gruff man named Tom, handed him a mop and bucket with barely a glance. Floors 7 through 12 need cleaning before the lawyers arrive. Stay invisible, work fast, don't touch anything important. Ryan nodded, adjusting the cheap work uniform that felt like a costume. As David Carter, he was part of the building's invisible workforce, people who kept the corporate machine running but remained unseen by those who benefited from their labor. The 7th floor housed Vera's department. Ryan's heart pounded as the elevator climbed, knowing he was about to see Vera in her natural environment for the first time. When the doors opened, he stepped into the familiar world of polished marble and expensive art, but now he viewed it from the bottom of the social hierarchy. Vera arrived at 8:30, her heels clicking against the floors Ryan had just cleaned. She walked past him without acknowledgement, talking animatedly on the phone about weekend plans at someone's Hamptons estate. "Make sure the flowers in conference room A are fresh. Mr. Davidson is visiting today, and first impressions matter when you're networking with old money families." Ryan continued mopping, positioned perfectly to observe Vera's interactions. What he saw made his stomach turn. When a junior associate accidentally bumped into Vera, she spoke to the young woman with cold disdain. When the coffee cart attendant took too long with her order, her impatience bordered on cruelty. "Honestly, how hard is it to make a simple latte?" Vera snapped at the elderly woman operating the cart. "Some people really don't understand professional standards." The woman apologized quietly, her face flushed with embarrassment. Ryan felt anger surge through him, but David Carter had to remain invisible. That evening, as Ryan finished cleaning the executive floor, he encountered someone that changed everything. She appeared in the hallway like a vision, tall and graceful with skin that held a subtle purple luminescence that seemed to shift in the artificial lighting. "You're new," she said, her voice carrying musical undertones that made Ryan's pulse quicken. "I'm Lyra, night security." I studied her ethereal features, noting how her beauty transcended human standards. "David Carter, maintenance." "You've been watching the lawyers," Lyra observed with knowing eyes that seemed ancient despite her youthful appearance. "Particularly the blonde one in the expensive suits." Heat flooded Ryan's cheeks. "I'm just doing my job." "Are you?" Lyra stepped closer, and Ryan caught a scent like starlight and distant oceans. Most maintenance workers don't study their subjects with such intensity. You're looking for something specific. What makes you think that? Because I study human behavior too. It's why I'm here to understand your species' social hierarchies, your capacity for genuine emotion versus performed interactions. Your species, Lyra, you're not entirely human. I'm interdimensional being, and you're saying your maintenance staff. We're both wearing disguises, David Carter. Over the following nights, Ryan found himself seeking out Lyra during his cleaning rounds. She worked the building's night shift with quiet efficiency, but her real purpose was observation. She studied human interactions with scientific curiosity tinged by genuine compassion. "Your blonde lawyer," Lyra said one evening as they shared coffee in an empty conference room. She treated
Ryan hesitated, then decided truth was the only currency worth trading. Ryan Matthews. I own Matthews Tech Solutions. Lyra's eyes widened. The billionaire. I've read about you in my research. And you're still here? Ryan said wonderingly. I'm here because of who you are, not what you own, Lyra replied, tracing patterns on his chest that felt like alien constellations, though it explains why you could afford such an elaborate disguise. Does it matter? The money, the company, all of it? Only if it matters to you, Lyra said softly. My people judge worth by character, by capacity for growth and connection. By that measure, Ryan, you're the richest human I've ever encountered. The next morning brought harsh reality crashing back. Ryan returned to his penthouse to find Vera waiting, champagne and celebration plans ready for what she assumed would be their engagement announcement. Darling, you look exhausted, Vera said, not really seeing the exhaustion or caring about its source. But tonight is special, the Westbrook merger celebration, remember? Everyone who matters will be there. Looking at Vera after experiencing Lyra's authentic presence felt like stepping from sunlight into shadow. Every gesture felt performed, every word calculated for effect rather than connection. Vera, Ryan said carefully, do you love me? Of course I do, she replied automatically, but her eyes were already checking her reflection in the hallway mirror. Now hurry and get ready, we can't be late. Ryan realized with crystal clarity that Vera had never really answered his question, just dismissed it as an inconvenience to her schedule. That evening, as Vera socialized with Manhattan's elite while Ryan played his expected role, he found himself counting minutes until he could return to the building where Lyra waited, the impossible woman who had shown him what love actually felt like. Hearts across worlds. The Westbrook merger celebration felt like performance art. Beautiful people in expensive clothes playing roles they'd perfected over years of social climbing. Ryan stood beside Vera, watching her work the room with calculated charm, each conversation designed to advance her career or social position. The Hendersons are considering switching law firms, Vera whispered to him. During a brief pause between networking targets, if I can convince them to bring their business to Morrison, it could fast-track my partnership. What about what you want? Not for your career, but for yourself. Vera looked at him blankly. My career is what I want. Success, recognition, respect, these things matter, Ryan. They're what separate us from ordinary people. There it was again, that casual dismissal of anyone outside their rarefied circle. Ryan felt something die inside his chest, the last vestige of hope that Vera might be capable of genuine love. Excuse me, Ryan said, unable to tolerate another moment of the charade. I need some air. He escaped to the terrace, pulling out his phone to text Lyra. Can we meet tonight? I need to see you. Her response came immediately. Always. The garden? 2 hours later, Ryan sat with Lyra in the rooftop garden where they'd first kissed, still wearing his tuxedo, but feeling more like himself than he had all evening. You look miserable, Lyra observed, her purple skin ethereal in the moonlight. I feel like I've been living someone else's life, Ryan admitted. Tonight, watching Vera, listening to her talk about people like their networking opportunities, I realized I don't even like the person I become when I'm with her." "And who do you become with me?" Lyra asked softly. I considered the question seriously. "Myself. The person I was before money and success taught me to question everyone's motives. When I'm with you, I remember why I started my company, to solve problems, to help people connect across distances. Literal distances, in our case," Lyra said with a smile that made his heart ache. "Lyra, what happens when your research is finished, when your people decide whether humanity is ready for contact?" Her expression grew sad. "I return to my world. Unless." "Unless what?" "Unless I find evidence that some humans are capable of transcending their social programming, that authentic love can exist between beings from different worlds." She met his eyes. "I think I've found that evidence." Ryan pulled her into his arms, kissing him with desperate intensity. "I'm falling in love with you. Completely, impossibly, irreversibly in love." "I love you too," she whispered against his lips, "which terrifies my people and amazes me every day." They made love under the open sky, surrounded by the city's electric pulse, but lost in their own cosmic connection. Her skin glowed brighter when he touched her, and Ryan felt energy flowing between them that seemed to rewrite his understanding of what was possible. "My people communicate through emotional resonance, sharing thoughts and feelings directly. With you, I can almost achieve that connection. It's unprecedented." "What does that mean?" "It means our bond transcends physical compatibility. We're emotionally, intellectually, spiritually aligned across species barriers." Lyra lifted her head to look at him. "Ryan, this kind of connection is what my people have been seeking for centuries, proof that love can bridge any distance." Their intimate peace was shattered by Ryan's phone buzzing insistently. Vera's name flashed on the screen. "Where did you go?" Vera's voice was sharp with irritation when he answered. "People are asking about you. This looks bad for both of us." "I'm sorry," Ryan said automatically, though he felt no regret. "I wasn't feeling well." "Well, pull yourself together. The evening isn't over and appearances matter." Ryan looked at Vera, who was watching with understanding in her ancient eyes. "Vera, I can't do this anymore," Ryan said quietly. "Can't do what? Attend important social functions? Ryan, you're being ridiculous. Come back immediately." "I can't pretend to be someone I'm not. And I can't keep pretending that what we have is love." The silence on the other end of the phone stretched taut like a wire. "Are you breaking up with me?" Vera asked, her voice cold with disbelief. "At the Westbrook celebration? Do you have any idea how this will look?" "I'm trying to be honest about what I feel, or what I don't feel." "This is about money, isn't it?" Vera's tone turned calculating. "You think I'm only with you for your wealth. Fine, I'll sign a prenup, whatever you need to feel secure." Ryan felt profound sadness wash over him. Even now, Vera couldn't conceive of love existing without financial considerations. "It's not about money, Vera. It's about connection, about seeing each other for who we really are." "I see you perfectly," Vera snapped. "You're Ryan Matthews, you're successful, wealthy, influential. What else matters?" "Everything," Ryan said softly, then ended the call. Lyra moved back into his arms without words, offering comfort that transcended language. In her embrace, Ryan felt the last chains of his old life falling away. "No regrets?" she asked. "None," Ryan said with absolute certainty. "Falling in love with you is the sanest thing I've ever done. Love's true value." The confrontation Ryan had been dreading came the next morning. Vera arrived at his penthouse unannounced, her face a mask of cold fury barely contained beneath her professional exterior. "We need to talk," she said, pushing past him into the living room where she'd spent countless nights playing the role of loving girlfriend. "Vera, I meant what I said last night. You meant to humiliate me publicly. Do you know how it looked when you disappeared from the Westbrook celebration?
People are talking, Ryan. They're questioning my judgment, my stability. I'm sorry you were embarrassed, Ryan said genuinely. But I couldn't continue pretending. Pretending? Vera's laugh was bitter. You think I was pretending? I gave you 2 years of my life, 2 years of perfect companionship, of being exactly what you needed. Being what you thought I wanted, Ryan corrected gently. But Vera, did you ever ask what I actually needed? I needed someone successful, beautiful, socially acceptable, someone who could enhance your position in society. And what did you need? Vera stared at him like he'd asked a question in a foreign language. I needed security, advancement, access to the life I deserve. The honesty of her answer was breathtaking in its coldness. Vera had never loved him. She'd loved what he could provide. But instead of anger, Ryan felt only profound sadness for what they'd both lost in the transaction. Vera, you deserve someone who can love the person you really are. And I deserve someone who sees me as more than a bank account with a pulse. This is about someone else, isn't it? Vera's eyes narrowed with calculation. Who is she? Another socialite? Someone from old money that makes me look nouveau riche? It's about someone who loves me despite my money, not because of it. Vera's composure finally cracked completely. You're throwing away everything we built for some fantasy of authentic love? Grow up, Ryan. Love is a luxury. Security is what matters. Then we want fundamentally different things from life, Ryan said with finality. I want love. Real, honest, transformative love. The kind that makes you better than you thought you could be. After Vera left, taking the engagement ring and her wounded pride,